back, you're watching Overdrive. The Jawa 350 is now up on engine displacement but down on power. It is also better looking than before. But is it the best 350cc classic style motorcycle in the country today? We sent Chris to Gujarat to find out.
The Jawa Classic or the Jawa Standard has been around for around 7 years time in India, and the company have taken its own time to come out with the Generation 2 model. And just by the looks of it, all the metal panels, the silhouette of this motorcycle resembles what we had already seen before since 2018. But once you come closer to the motorcycle, well, you will make out all those small fine details and additions that the company have made to this Generation 2 model.
Now there's quite an extensive list of features that Jawa have carried out with this motorcycle over the older bike. But I'll cut it down to what's actually important for you. The stuff you'll notice about it when you first see it and actually get down to riding this motorcycle. Aesthetically, the fit and finish levels have improved tremendously. The paint quality is much better than before. There's different textured parts, like on the side panels, and lots of additional chrome bits on there now, like the fender badge and stays, the heel guards, and then there's even some aluminum foot pegs on there now as well. There's new colors to the Jawa 350's instrumentation readout, along with decals all across the bike, including the new tank and engine badges too. The Jawa 350 is slightly taller than before, with increased ground clearance and seat height as well, while being slightly tighter on overall width. Now as far as functional bits go, well, the bike gets new front and rear suspension units with increased length for better ride comfort. However, one should notice that the rear shocks, although preload adjustable, aren't gas charged anymore. The biggest change to this bike, however, comes in the form of the 334cc liquid cooled engine that replaces the older 294cc unit. Yes, it has been borrowed from the Generation 2 Perak. And while the displacement, bore and stroke of this motor remains the same as the older Jawa model, the cylinder head on this bike is new, with updated port flow and heat flow management, and as a result, the rate of compression has reduced. The double cradle frame has been modified to accommodate the new engine, while the swing arm at the rear has increased in length to aid stability.
Now you think having a bigger displacement engine in there, well, this motorcycle would have more power on tap to offer, but sadly that isn't the case with the Jawa 350 because power has in fact decreased down to around 22.5 PS of max power from almost 27 PS that was on tap with the older 300cc model. Now the main reason that Jawa has done this, well, they claim, is because they want to maintain that laid back, calm, sensible ride experience that this motorcycle is supposed to give you. And if you wanted something more proactive in the performance sense, well, you always have options like the 42 and the Perak.
Now while the new model is down on power, torque on the other hand has gone up by 1 Nm. Now prior to the ride, Jawa personnel explained to us that they have improved torque on the second, third and fourth gear ratios and configured the engine to deliver all that power and torque overall in a way that gives this bike a better initial shove. Also, the slip and assist clutch, a very welcome feature on this motorcycle. The Jawa 350 is a lot more user-friendly now, with vibrations and audibility of its overall functioning beginning to get intrusive past the indicated 90 kmph mark. Give it enough time, space and effort and you will see the needle on the speedometer fly past 130 kmph. Now things are slightly better than before in the ride and handling department out here as well. Now the front suspension, well, it provides neutral feedback, but it's quite absorbent over rough surfaces, so that makes things acceptable. The rear springs on the other hand, well, in their stock setting, well, they're a bit too firm for my liking because it can get a bit unsettling when you're carrying even a little bit of pace out on the highway. Now the roads out in Gujarat are mostly flat, but when I did come across some heavily undulated patches, it did take a toll on my spine, and you'll definitely want to slow down a lot to take on bumps in the city. Now the Jawa 350 feels like a decent classic style motorcycle to get you about your business within the city. But if it's proper long distance touring you're looking at, well, you might want to consider some other options out there because, well, first and foremost, this motorcycle, there isn't a lot of space you have to work with regard to any luggage you plan on carrying along on your trip. The roads leading out of Burj towards the White Run are mostly long straights with a couple of sweeping bends in between. And these are the kind of roads that you'll really appreciate on the motorcycle of this sort. Retro cruisers give off that calm, peaceful vibe, and there's a method to riding motorcycles like this one. And if you're into that kind of riding, well, there are certain aspects and things about this motorcycle that you'll definitely appreciate.
Now, for 2,15,000 rupees, the Jawa 350 is definitely priced a lot lower than something like the Royal Enfield Classic 350. But for that cost, well, you will say that yes, the Enfield has more in terms of features and performance. But then again, this motorcycle, it's not meant to be heavy in terms of tech. It looks great, the fit and finish, the build quality has improved tremendously over the first generation model, and that's something that fans of the Jawa brand and the older standard or classic 300, well, that displacement model, well, once you check this one out, you're definitely going to fall in love with it.
From Bhuj, we move on to Curry Motor Speedway to check out the Aprilia RS 457 around the racetrack. Stay with us for that story after this very short break.